Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show as we get ready for game number 4 tonight. I want to get the last time you and I talked. I mean, it might have been the time before. We were searching for Andrei Svechnikov. We apparently found him. So, your thoughts on what we saw from Andrei, certainly in the middle of the second period?
Yeah, I love. I mean, that was always, one of the things that we thought was winger on the wall. You're racing the defenseman to your, that's standing next to you to the front of the net, and you're trying to cut underneath their centerman, so that way if any pucks, fit in that general area, you're the first one on it, or even if the net front D, grabs it, you're right on them. And, to see him just kind of, just be powerful right off the face-off, right off the, the start there and jump through there and then obviously make a great shot on top of it was, it was great to see, and certainly a huge goal, at that moment in the game. And I think that, while the team was playing well, they weren't really getting the results. And then they finally, started to see it. And, we saw what happened the rest of the game where I felt like they just smothered them and just wore them down.
There were 2 different games, right? The first 30 minutes, Washington controlled. Freddie Anderson kept them in it. And then the last 30 minutes, which was one-way traffic.
Yeah, and that's how it goes lots of times in the playoffs. Those simple little plays that lead to something, much bigger, and then all the momentum changes, and now you're fighting an uphill battle. And I thought, while that was happening, the Hurricanes, started playing, even stronger, and there was more confidence to their game.
Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Game 4 tonight. Do you believe in momentum from game to game in the playoffs?
Absolutely. I think it was a little bit more prominent, back in the day when, before you were, just constantly going, pretty much every other day.
Right.
I would point to that, the 02 Cup run where we won Game 4 in Montreal, came back here for Game 5 on Mother's Day, but we were right back in Montreal the next night for Game 6, and we steamrolled them like 5-1 in Game 5 on Mother's Day, and we carried that literally right into the Bell Center the next night, and we beat them 8-2. So I do believe in momentum, from game to game for sure.
I remember you guys scored 5 goals in the first period of Game 6 in Montreal. It seemed like once you guys solved Jose Theodore, it was over.
Yeah, sometimes those lefties are a little tricky. But I mean, he had an outstanding year. He was league MVP, and you look at Washington's season. Probably one of the best things that happened to them was when Alexander Ovechkin got hurt. They actually started playing some really good hockey, but they got really good goaltending this year.
Yeah.
And so it's really important for the Hurricanes to get to him and try and get to him early. Obviously, he's another one of those goalies that doesn't like traffic. So he had a great year, and so I think with what happened in Game 3 and the way that the Hurricanes finished the game, I look forward to seeing them, continue that momentum tonight.
Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. What do you make of Frederik Andersen's playoffs so far?
Yeah, I just love how calm Freddie is. I feel like it's just by nature. Like,
it is.
When you speak with him and everything. But he's very calm in the net. Doesn't. It's almost like Theodore's like kind of the exact opposite, where he's big movements and we're trying to, you're trying to reel it in. But yeah, he reminds me a lot like with Cam. Cam was like that as well. Just, real, just quiet in the net, and when he had to, he could be very athletic. I think that's the same thing with Freddie. When he needs to be super athletic, he can be, but he's so quiet and positionally sound, he doesn't necessarily have to do it a lot.
Erik Cole is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Yeah, that's the thing, and especially that first save against Wilson. What was it, 30 seconds in, and Tom he's certainly been Washington's best player, and that could have sent the game going in a completely different direction. He steers that aside just comfortably. Like he just calmly slid across and said, nope, that's not going in now. And I just think that set up his entire first period.
Yeah, and sometimes that's, what it takes lots of times for a goaltender is to just, get those first couple shots and get those first couple saves, and then you really settle right into the game. And I think he's been great this playoff run so far, and hopefully it continues.
How much do line changes in terms of juggling the lines? How much do you think they matter, or is it simple? Is it simply because Carolina's best play came very soon after Rod juggled 3 of the 4 lines? How much of it matters in terms of the combinations, and how much of it is kind of just, all right, it's not working, let's just try something else?
Well, the combinations are, realistically, that's not really where it matters the most, because at this point, pretty much everyone's played with everybody at some point this season, right? Like, everyone should be comfortable being on the ice with, every centerman, every other winger kind of thing. Because it's a long year. And even just within a game, say somebody was just out killing a penalty, or, 2 guys on that line were killing a penalty. Well, then, the third guy might get a shift with another line. There's always going to be little things like that can take place. But I think where it matters most and where it makes the biggest difference is the matchup. And so then it's, okay, well, what forward line are you mainly matched up against? And more importantly, what D pairing are you matched up with? And I think that's really where it makes the bigger difference. Mm-hmm. It is when you shuffle the lines around a little bit. Okay, well, these guys got the number 1 pair. These guys have the number 2. And, all of a sudden you go from, playing against the top 4 defensemen to, the bottom 2 to 3, like on their depth chart. So I feel like that's where it makes, the biggest difference is in the matchups.
If you were a head coach, Erik Cole, who would you want Slavin and Burns? Carolina's, Jacob Slavin's the best defensive defenseman, I believe, in the entire league. Who would you want them out against? Which Washington forward line?
I would take Ovi's line for sure. He's the greatest goal scorer in the history of the game. So that's where I would lean towards.
That's the way Rod's done it.
Yeah, for me, that's the way that I would go with it. And I think that, I think it's a good matchup for Burnsy and Jacob. So, I think that's, you want to take away a team's biggest threat. And I know a lot of those goals come on the power play, but those two guys aren't taking a ton of penalties out there either. Like,
right.
I mean, like Slavin's probably up for the Lady Bing again this year.
Unfortunately, he's not. Somehow he didn't get it. There is no more gentlemanly player in the league than Jacob Slavin. I don't even understand it. But we did. I spoke to Jacob this morning.
And take away, but they're not going to do the Lady Bing anymore.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well,
he wasn't a finalist. He wasn't one of the top three, which doesn't make any sense. Jacob did joke that Burns versus Ovechkin, because that has been an issue. In terms, we've seen it a lot. It's like old on old. So I thought that was very funny that Jacob would phrase it that way. Maybe he's working on a stand-up routine.
There was definitely some old man strength out there when Ovi got that forearm shiver. I've been on the receiving end of one of those before, and I can remember. You might even be able to hear it in the audio clip where I was like, ooh.
It was
just knocked the wind out of me, put me right on my butt, and I think I got up seeing red, and I just went and hit the first person I saw as hard as I could with had the puck.
I mean, Ovi has not done. He has not impacted the games yet. He had one good shift that led to a great scoring chance, and Freddie made the save on it. But Ovi has not yet impacted the game. I'm sure it's going to happen because he's too good.
Yeah, I just knocked on wood. I hope that you do the same. I mean, don't poke the bear. What are you doing?
Right. All right, I get it. I mean, I don't believe in jinxes. Do you believe in jinxes?
I believe in just kind of putting things out there into the universe. They
Gotcha.
Usually happen.
I understand. Erik Cole, you're the best. I appreciate your time, my friend. I will talk to you very soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Enjoy the game tonight.
You too, man. Take care. Erik Cole here on the Adam Gold Show.